Logan Connect. It's February 25th, 2019, and I'm here to tell you about Music Gym. Music Gym is a passion project of mine that I've been working on for about 8 months now. I'm very serious about it, and the goal of it is to help piano learners just enjoy and work through piano much more efficiently for learning. It's going to be a review management system that will handle all of the engagement for the learner just so that all they have to do is show up and do their reps every day. With Music Gym, there's going to be these concepts of schools and courses and lessons that other learners create and share with other learners. And with those schools come resources like sheet music files that they can practice in their browser by plugging in a USB piano. Not only that, but they'll be broken down into flashcards so that other people can participate with the review system using those sheet music resources. So I realize that's all pretty abstract, and I'm going to dive into several different things. So before we get started, I want to show you the resource that we're going to be working with right now. It's going to be Mary Had a Little Lamb. This is an XML file, which is a sheet music XML file. There's a standard out there that says, hey, if you put this XML schema format, it is basically representative of a music file. And so we're going to just show you the contents of this so you understand how this is being used in Music Gym and how schools are actually leveraging this. So you can see this is a full piece of music. It's got 16 bars. It's Mary Had a Little Lamb. And very standard, very approachable piece. This is Music Gym, and what this is the home page specifically. I'm not going to get into too much of it, but this is a debug tool just to go to some pages to show you. This is a login form to support that functionality, and this is just some extra information. I'm going to sign up real fast. We're going to create an account, and once we have that account made, I'm going to show you the learner dashboard. So here we go. We've made this. We're going to not save it for now. This is just a mock-up. Please understand that this will be worked out at some later point. But the idea is that this is a learner's dashboard. When they log in, immediately they'll be presented with some learner content here that's specific to them. The review information is the flashcard information I mentioned earlier, and then this will be some display about their actual courses and how they can toggle it appropriately. We're going to start the reviews, but they don't have any reviews, and that's because they're a new user and they don't know what to do. So in order to get some reviews, we're going to have to find some schools. This is our Browse Schools page, but unfortunately there are no schools yet. But we can fix that. Right now I have some back-end functionality that I'm not exposing anywhere, but I am using this in order to do the school creation. That's for some personal reasons that I can elaborate on if you have more questions afterwards. So I'm going to create a school real fast. I've just created a school and its name is Music Reps. And you can see that by refreshing the page, and now we have Music Reps. This is cool, but school is just not very useful. It's more of like a conceptual object, really, than anything. So what we want to do is we want to give this school some resources. And in this case, we're going to use that Mary Had a Little Lamb file and just give that resource to the school. We can confirm that by just double checking the resources page here, and you can see it's uploaded. So the second thing that I mentioned earlier is that flashcard sets are going to be able to be provided for the learners. And that's also a resource, and the thing about the flashcard set is that it's actually created from the sheet music that's provided by the person who uploads it in the school. In order to create it, you need to provide some input just to explain what that flashcard is going to look like. I'm not going to get into the details. This is much too deep for the general purpose of this video, but I do want to just point out that we do this by specifying that sheet music that we had uploaded. If you see this list resources right here, you can see that the ID is 1. All we do is we say, hey, use that original piece of sheet music, and I want you to make a flashcard that has the first 5 measures of the song. And then I want you to make another flashcard that has the next 5 measures, and then a third flashcard that is just the final measure. And when you do that, it's going to create the resource. It takes a little bit because there's some processing, and boom, you have some flashcards. So we're going to double check the resources of the school again, and you can see, wow, there's the sheet music and some flashcards. It's pretty exciting, and you can actually get this information all in bulk so that you can see like the full set of what the school owns. And there will be an interface for this later, so please don't let this get too unapproachable. So what we've done is we've created a school. We've created some resources for the school. Now we need to create a school course. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a school course that's called Music Gym Beginner, right? And so what we'll do is we'll just say Music Gym Beginner. And I'll just use a generalized thing for the course description. So what we have now is when we refresh the page, we have a course, and this is a school course description, and you can see that the Music Gym Beginner course has been made. So this is cool, but we're going to want a couple courses, right? We'll want an intermediate, and then we're going to want an expert course as well, right? Because we want to address different skill levels. So if we refresh this, we're going to see music reps with beginner, intermediate, and expert. And that is super useful. The next step here is going to be making some lessons. Now, this is the key part that you really don't need to worry too much about, just want to call it out, is that we associate those school resources with the lesson so that now people have something to study. So what we're going to do is we're going to just make a lesson here. And when we do that, this is going to be actually put in the first beginner course. We can add more lessons to the other ones, and you can see here, so we have a lesson. And with that lesson, we list the resources that are attached to it. So in this case, we actually made that example flashcard deck earlier. It's belonging to the school, and then we attached it to the lesson. So when I say school resources, think of that basketball gym closet that's always filled with the basketballs and all that weird equipment. That's what you should think of this school resources as, is this is a place where we put things that are available for the people making the courses, and they can assign it to specifically things like lessons so that it can be used as review material. Now, I'm not really interested in filling out the other lesson or the other courses, but for now I just want to hammer home this point that we've made a couple courses, we made a school, and now we have the ability to browse this information as we need. So we're going to go back to our Learner dashboard, and we're going to go try and do reviews again. Oh no, there aren't any schools that we're enrolled in, and that's kind of a problem. So we're going to go enroll in a school. We see that there's music reps now, and we're going to see, oh, okay, there's the beginner lesson, and this has some flashcards, so let's enroll in it. Okay, and so now we as the learner have enrolled in it, and we are going to do some reviews. And now you're like, oh, hey, that doesn't make sense. You enrolled, but you can't do reviews. And that's a good point. So the thing with Music Gym is that when you enroll in a course, you are only given candidates of flashcards that are available. And what I mean by that is there's a distinction between your new cards and your review cards. And at this point, there are only new cards available. When you draw a new card, you put it into your review deck, and that review deck is then what is used for your review management system. So in this case, we're going to look at the new cards that are available, which were the flashcards we just made, and there's 3 of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a flashcard, and you can see that that flashcard has been removed from that set. And if we look at the actual reviews that are available, we can see that this is required. So this is another piece of interface I haven't quite worked in yet. It's going to be added to the interface pretty soon here, but just understand that this is a conceptual piece of drawing a flashcard into a review system. You don't need to get too deep into it. Just understand there's 2 different decks. And now when I refresh the page, you're going to see the first 5 measures of Mary Had a Little Lamb. So you can see that mi, re, do, re, mi, 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 and then you can look right over here and see that as well. So what we've done is we've taken that piece, allowed the learner a mechanism to chop it up, and then provide it as reusable content. And what's going to be even better is that you can play it with feedback. So, and this is my piano right now. And so, well, we tried. How it works is, that's a minor bug from something silly. But the point to hammer home here is that this is actually a graded feedback mechanism that is actually usable for people, and you can tie it back together to something that you as a person wanted to share with somebody else, which was I wanted to share Mary Had a Little Lamb with another person and provide them a way to approach the material in more discretized units. There is a long-term vision of, I see these being cards that level up where you start with every single stanza chopped up separately, and then they expand to the stanzas surrounding it. So let's say you start with just stanza 3 over here, you would chop that into stanza 3, and then once it levels up, it would be stanza 2, 3, and 4, and then the final form would be this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just a concept. Know that it's out there. It's not quite something that's been worked in yet, but it is potentially where the direction may go. So what happens after you play it, though, is you get this ability to grade this resource. And this is very important because this graded feedback mechanism is incredibly important for any learner. Not knowing if you're doing something correct or wrong is going to be very difficult. So what we do is we take a value based on the time near the note when it gets played. Think of it like DDR, Dance Dance Revolution, or some of those arcade games. The closer you are, the timing is matched to the note color. So in this case, this is a perfect, this is a great, this is a good, this is a bad, and then the reds are a miss. Based on those values all together in aggregate, that grade is calculated, and then the user or learner can say, well, I agree or disagree with that, and actually mark it with the correct grade. And then that goes back into the system, and that flashcard has been marked as learned. In this case, we're going to just say that we struggled with it. Clearly we did. That just means that we're going to see it tomorrow, and all we have to do is log in and practice it. In the future, you'll be able to replay the flashcards as much as you want, but it's not a huge priority at the moment. So what this means, though, is if you look at our review system, you can see that there's no more reviews. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw one more card. We're going to get that review. We're going to bring that review in, and we're going to play it, and it's just going to be very simple. I can't read that low on the bass or the treble clef. See, and now we're going to mark it as a success, and it worked correctly. And so that's the essential gist of what the Music Gym is it's a place to go to study material that has been provided by other learners as the concept of a school, and make it so that they don't have to worry about what to play or which order to play it, or even like how often to review the material. They just show up, they do their reps, and then they go and have a good time elsewhere. And this is fantastic because people like music teachers are going to be able to see students and say, follow this path on this website that I made, and then they can log into the account and show the teacher that they've been working on it. And then in turn, when the students work with their teachers or are even studying by themselves, preferably with a teacher, they can work on the form and the meaning and the expression behind a song rather than working on the mechanical aspect and the theory aspect of how it operates together. And so it's a powerful tool. I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a great opportunity to kind of help provide learning. And it's honestly, it's a little selfish too. I'm looking to learn piano, so it'll be cool. And I hope that you like the presentation, and thanks for listening.